morning once again, and welcome to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Kallevig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. Celebrating 11 years here in July, 11 years when we opened the doors, and very thankfully we've been able to help lots of folks. We've had 4 different add-ons to our office, a nice education center now, so we're very fortunate, hard work, and good people that really want information. Education is where it starts, and again, we're thankful for those 11 years and 11 more and 11 more. And at the end of the day, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 612-504-8400. Visit us online, havenfinancialgroup.com. Come to our classes. Materials are provided. There's no catch. There's no pressure. Again, it's all about education. Where you take it from there, completely up to you. Again, no cost for any of our consultations, and I hope you take advantage of it.
This morning, we've been talking about lasting financial plans through estate planning and real estate, through, partnerships with folks like those at Haven Financial Group, learning more, putting together great tax plans, making sure that all that you've worked so hard for all of your life, you're enjoying during retirement, and the portion of it that you want to leave behind is left behind in good hands and in a good form for those that you love. This is a really interesting stat. Over 90% of families' fortunes are gone within 3 generations of their creation, and that even includes families like the Vanderbilts. So we're talking about, wealthy people who had generational wealth that unfortunately was not put together in a plan in a way that kept it for many generations.
Yeah, and baby boomers will transfer an estimated $88 trillion in wealth to younger generations over the next 33 years or 30 years. 88 trillion, that's a lot of zeros. And no matter how much money you have, because right now somebody listening is going, oh, he's speaking only to the affluent and to the wealthy. Couldn't be further from the truth. We're speaking to anybody that has anything small, medium, or large. How does it transfer in the most efficient way possible? How do I accomplish those goals to try to help avoid some of these 90% of fortunes that are actually gone? It's a major problem, and it's because a lack of planning. A lot of times the beneficiaries don't know any different. They make decisions based upon, again, they're not based on facts. They're just based on their gut feeling, which isn't always the best way, the gut feeling. So how do we accomplish our goals? It comes back to the estate planning conversation. Do I want to avoid probate? How do I avoid probate? Does a will avoid? No. Should I be looking at revocable trusts or irrevocable trusts? And what I will say is be cautious here. There are some folks out there, I'll take it a step further, that think they sell trusts that they avoid the nursing home. Revocable trusts do not avoid the nursing home. And there's very few ways to avoid the nursing home. Long-term care is an option. Again, I encourage you to come in and have a great conversation with Glenn about good, viable options for long-term care. Most people haven't prepared adequately for that as well. But if you maybe, again, you look at, is there going to be a tax situation when I inherit? An estate tax. Now, the federal estate tax really doesn't apply to many people because it's a very big number these days. In fact, I think it's almost 15 million each for a married couple. In Minnesota, though, it's 3 million each. Okay, maybe that doesn't affect a lot of people, but back in history, back quite a few years ago, I think it was in the 90s, the federal estate tax was like $600,000 to $800,000 each. Oh, what's to say they couldn't go back? They could. There's a good chance of it. The state could lower it. So we want to have the tax conversation. Irrevocable means not changeable anymore. Again, it's usually done for tax planning purposes. Generational wealth, irrevocable is unchangeable. Revocable is changeable. While you're here, my wife and I are the trustees of our revocable trust. When both of us are gone, now it becomes irrevocable, and then you have some more controls. And then talking about the succession strategy, how much control do you want? And it's not a very eloquent way to put it, but how much control do you want from the grave? Okay, and I can tell you in our trust, we have 4 daughters. We oftentimes, for younger kids, when they inherit, probably not a good idea to get a big chunk of money at 21 or 25. So we have And you can do this. It's called meter distribution. Oh, I want to control things. They get a fourth of it at 25, a fourth of it at 30, a fourth of it at 35, 30, 35, however you want to structure it. That's part of that conversation. Trusts have more control. A will is your opinions for a probate court. Maybe that isn't what you want. Again, these are a part of those discussions, but it's understanding what your goals and aspirations, what your tax situation is, not fun stuff. And then maybe having a discussion with the family about your circumstances. Now, this isn't for everybody. There's some
Right.
families you probably don't want to have that conversation. I get it. But for other families, open communication, open dialogue. Here's the situation. Maybe having a proactive conversation rather than, let's face it, the baby boomer generation, they're pretty private. Okay, there's a
Mhm.
lot of them that are pretty private. They don't want to talk about this, and then all of a sudden, surprise, they pass away, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Right.
I can remember my grandpa when he passed away. Henry and Myrtle were my grandpa and grandma on my dad's side. Very reserved, very quiet farming family. They rub two nickels together at all times. And then all of a sudden, this is quite a few years ago, grandpa passes away. Grandma has no clue where anything is.
Mhm.
Again, not a good situation. And then they found CDs. Grandpa had he put CDs in like 15 different banks. Again, consolidation, simplification,
Right.
communication, kind of the way things were back then. But again, it's why you want to be on the same page with your spouse if you're married. Maybe the dialogue with the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to set up something up for the grandkids. All this sounds maybe a little bit difficult, over the top, complicated. Doesn't have to be.
Mm-mm.
And it starts simply with a no cost consultation with one of the estate planning partners and us to find out really where you should go from there.
Sure. And we just want to remind everyone again, this is not just for the uber wealthy. Maybe you're someone who owns a family business and that family business has been very good to you. And now you're looking for, ways that you are going to pass that business down. It's very important that you have this kind of coverage and you have this kind of knowledge so that that business can be passed down in the way that you're thinking of. Maybe you own property. You just gave a very good example. Maybe there in the Minnesota, Minneapolis area, you are someone who owns generational property and you want to make sure it's protected. You've got a farm that's been in your family for years and years and you want that protected. These are the kinds of things we're talking about, right, Larry? It's not just people who have big, huge bank accounts.
You are correct. Again, many people know that I grew up on a dairy farm in west central Minnesota, Candy, Ohio, Minnesota, by Wilmer. And our farm's been in the family for a long time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of farms that are out there, land prices. You may not think you have much, but again, at 10 to 12 to 14, $15,000 an acre, you may have more than you think. And
Mhm.
again, those things add up. So it could be the farm. We live in the land of 10,000 lakes here in Minnesota. Again, a lot of cabins. We deal with cabin trusts. I want this cabin kept in the family. I want to
Sure.
designate a certain amount for expenses every year. These are real reasons. Or one that I haven't mentioned yet, we have a lot of clients that are very charitable. And again, we had a couple in last week. They actually started a foundation. They've gone through the right process. They're very philanthropic. So if you're listening and you are charitable, that opens up some ideas. Okay, you pass, and maybe you want certain charities to get it, or maybe you're actually just required minimum distribution age right now. Qualified charitable distribution set up for tax efficiency and making sure that it's not income. So, whole bunch of reasons why, but it starts with a discussion. And many people keep avoiding the discussion. Avoiding the discussion doesn't accomplish anything. It takes implementation. And for many humans, that's the most difficult thing to do. Procrastination wins, but ultimately it will not win.
Yeah. It's these can be very hard discussions to have. But if you sit down with a partner who's listening to you, who has your best interest at heart, it can make all the difference in the world. And the folks there at Haven Financial Group would love to sit down with you and hear what it is that you're hoping to accomplish with the things that you have acquired through your life, and the to the people that mean so much to you. So let's give you the number again. It's 612-504-8400. Again, that's 612-504-8400. You tell them you heard them here and you'd like to set up an appointment. Go in. It costs you nothing to just sit down and have a conversation about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I love this show today. I thought this was really good because this is really informative.
I thought so too. The question, takeaway is, do you have all the retirement puzzle pieces? And do you even know how to put that puzzle together? Haven Financial Group, we'd love to help you. Give us a call, come on in, and we look forward to being with you next week. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.